this. Yes, so now you can start. Thank you.
But you can see my screen, right?
And I can see your screen. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the first title. Okay, so again, hello everybody. Arek is with me as well, so he will be also answering some questions. And we would like to present to you, actually, it's not hardware, it's not even a software, it is a magazine, which is yeah,
in a digital and paper version.
Yeah, we will come to that point. We'll come to that point. I have slide for that. I have slide for that. It's a magazine which is available also in English. Yeah, so actually non-Polish speakers can also read it. So magazine is called Komoda and Amiga Plus. There is an interesting part what the Komoda means. If I read Komoda, it sounds almost like a Commodore. So that was the very common nickname for Commodore in Poland. And Komoda basically is a kind of furniture. Actually, it's a dresser when you just put your underwear there. So it's like it just sounds similar. Yeah. To give you an overview of a historical overview of the magazine, we have to actually go back, shift back to the 80s. Let's say the last part of the 80s. Yeah. Actually, if you probably all of you know that Europe was divided into two parts in 80s. It was like a Western Bloc and Eastern Bloc, and apparently, at least from my point of view, apparently from my point of view, that Poland was on the wrong side, which basically also means that we were like a totally isolated from any technological advanced technology, because there was like a ban to export this kind of stuff to Eastern Bloc. And also, even if there wasn't the ban, it was quite difficult to obtain such devices like Commodore 64, for instance, for Polish people, because like average Polish salary in late 80s was about $20 per month. So if you just consider like a Commodore 64 costing like $160, it was like a lot. But the thing is that due to the relative proximity to, for instance, a country that does not exist today, the country is the West Germany or the West Berlin, was quite common that people were just harvesting second-hand computers. And they were not selling this officially in Poland, but they were selling this on something that was called the computer market or electronic market. So that's like a unofficial circulation of those kind of devices. So as you see on the slide, it was looking like this. It was looking exactly like this. Yeah, I remember that because I was a little boy at that time, but I was going there to see all those computers. Later, it became the biggest trade market for software, which wasn't really from legal sources. Yeah, but it was how it was. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know, Komek, if you remember that, because I'm probably a little longer. I live a little longer. My first contact with Commodore computers, or with the computers at all, was not that I own one, because as I said, those very expensive. Even those second-hand, very old 8-bit computers were still very expensive. But we have magazines. In Poland, there were magazines devoted to computers, like this one, Little Bytek from '86. Was looking like this. There was always the coolest thing inside was that we had a map of a game. There was a map of a game. Fairlight from the ZX Spectrum, and there was like a type in basic programs. So you can just type it in and get a cool thing. So I was actually reading these basic programs without computer. Okay, then I got my first second-hand 64 in like 1990, and I still had to wait 2 years for a magazine that was devoted for Commodores only and Amigas, and it was called Commodore and Amiga. That was how it was called. This is the second issue. I still own it. If you see, it is pretty used, pretty worn. Yeah, because I think I read it like 20 times. That was how it was. Yeah. So as you see, that was 46 issues in Poland between 92 and 95, distributed only in Poland, only in Polish language. Print run 70,000 each month. It was pretty. When I looked at this, it's pretty impressive. 70,000 issues per month, and it was writing about hardware, software, games, programming, everything. Yeah, and from the second edition, they also included a tape or disc with those typing programs and some additional utilities, so you could just buy it separately. The magazine has died in 95. That was roundly the time where the Commodore computers died in Poland as well. And I think that because that was the same editor, like a Bytek and CNA, the Bytek went bankrupt right after that because some of the bank just went bankrupt and they had all the money there. So this is how it was gone. In December 2007, I wasn't in a retro, but Komek, I assume you were involved in one of those magazines, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in December 2007, I think that was a fanzine called Commodore and Amiga Fun.
Yes.
And then maybe later Commodore and Amiga Games and Komoda. That was all probably available only in Polish or digital, right?
Yes, right. Only digital.
Only digital. And then my colleagues in 2015, they decided to join the forces. And this is how this K&A Plus was born. Yeah, so this is how this magazine was born. And since the 6th edition of K&A, it was available in both languages, English and Polish, and in a printed and digital version. Yeah, so this is how the printed version looks like. It's slightly better quality compared to the one that you saw earlier. It's also brand new actually, and it is devoted for Commodore, 8-bit Commodores, actually all models, mostly Commodore 64 because it was the most popular Commodore computer in Poland, and for Amigas as well, all kind of Amigas. But actually there is, I think, this cycle which is I don't know how it's called in English, but it is also, I mean, we are writing also about other platforms, other retro platforms as well. And there are four releases per year, so it is released quarterly. So far 21 editions, and 22nd edition is on the way, so it should be released in January.
In January, yes.
Early next year. And what is the content of this? The content is, the main focus is on games and gaming culture. If we compare it with these old magazines, I would say the variety of the content is the same, but it's slightly differently balanced. In 80s and 90s, people were much more devoted to programming, yeah, and not that much devoted to gaming. It is totally different now. Most people just want to play game. Therefore, the main focus is on gaming and gaming culture. And we describe we describe some, nostalgic old titles, but there is like a big portion of the magazine is devoted to the new productions. Yeah, so there are reviews of the new productions.
Important, yes.
Yeah, it's so this is quite important. But we also write about hardware and including some aftermarket goodies. The last time, the week ago, I had this opened on the right pages. This way, I don't have it, but I think the last time we wrote about Mega 65 project. Yeah, there was one of our editors just got it, and he made a very hot and quick review of the hardware. We have reviews of software, hardware, and also we try to do some interviews with interesting people from demo scene, from the past Commodore times, and so on and so on. There is one interesting cycle called, I don't remember the name in English, but it is devoted to demo scene, and it is written by actually quite famous Polish demo scener, Wacek from Rise, yeah, from Rise Group. And he's writing about demo parties. Also, he's writing about techniques, how to write the demos, and he's also writing some reviews of the demos. I mean, with a demo, I mean, you really need to understand why certain effect is important. Yeah, because if you don't know very well the hardware, it might, you might only focus on aesthetic part of the demos, but it is extremely important to understand what is going on behind, and Wacek is actually doing a pretty good job in explaining this. And we are also writing about coding and tutorials, how to code, how to program with a different language. I will just switch to the content of our next issue, and I will tell you a little bit more what you can expect there. Pretty much about the new games, new releases, like Eye of Beholder. There is a review of the game. Hero for VIC-20. Hero for VIC-20. There is like Impossible. I think, Comek, this Impossible Mission is the Impossible Mission 3. Yeah, this is the one from Travis. Yeah, I think.
The Impossible Mission it's a new conversion.
New conversion. It's a new conversion.
For +4.
Ah, for the +4. Yeah. So we also write about +4. Why not?
And about a book of Impossible Mission.
Ah, okay. So there is also a review of the book. Yeah. So there will be like this devoted. The nerdy stuff later. Yeah. The nerdy stuff later on. We have like a third part of the cycle of the tutorial XC Basic. I really like this Pascal. I have to try it out. This Basic is also, I mean, I don't like Basic, but I mean, you can code a demo effect with this because it is like a cross compiler actually. My own article, like a second one, how to write an own game. It's very good. You have to read it. No, of course not. But the thing is that I made a challenge to code the game that will be in below 500 lines of kick assembler. Actually, it's 550, but the game is playable, and this is the first part. I will describe how this game is coded and so on. It's very simple, like a Space Taxi clone. Yeah? All the code is open source. And we have also plenty of hardware topics, like playing with cable. I think I wrote a small article about EasyFlash 3 and transferring stuff on cable, because the let's say the leading theme for this, we try to have a leading theme for each of this or leitmotiv for each of the edition. And this time is the connectivity, how you can connect different computers. Actually, yes. I think the playing with cable, our colleague will present that how he connected the Amiga 600 and Atari Mega ST, I think, with one cable, and I think he played Lotus on it. Apparently, the Lotus game uses exactly the same protocol, no matter whether it's Amiga or Atari ST, so you can actually play with one Atari, one Amiga connected together. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Let's stay in touch. Here you have a QR code with our webpage. We are available on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Honestly, we are also, I mean, if you would like to cooperate with us to publish your content, to demonstrate your hardware, or software you're producing, or maybe write some articles on any topic connected to retro scene, we would like to invite you to our webpage where there is this contact form. You can contact us and just become a contributor. Also here there is a shop, and you can actually buy. Yeah, we are actually offering also cover discs, like with this old magazine. You see, This is the diskette I was talking. Arek, could you confirm? This is a brand new diskette from US somewhere.
Yes, that's brand new.
Yeah. There is only one company which is producing the 5-inch floppies, and yeah, this is the first. I mean, the first time I see it.
I don't know. They are producer, but maybe it was a magazine stock.
Magazine.
I don't know. I don't know.
No matter. However, there is still a possibility to buy new ones if you really need it for any purpose. Okay, so I think that's all from my presentation. I mean, there is a web page. You will get all the informations. You can buy either the digital or physical copy in English, or you can contact us if you'd like to. I know sometimes we're even looking for proofreaders in English language. I mean, we can handle Polish by ourselves, but we really focus on delivering exactly the same quality in English. So we have people who are from like a native English speakers who are also cooperating with us. But maybe somebody else would like to join. Welcome. Yeah.
Good. Arek, I don't know if you want to add something. Or...
No.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if there are any questions from the attendees. I saw actually this article playing with cable. Maybe that's an article for you then to play with to build the cables without trouble or something.
I think it's typical null modem cable, but I saw this cable, and I think that our colleague has exactly the same problem as all of us when we are trying to solder those tiny connectors, and this never works well, especially when you use it multiple times, it gets broken. Yeah.
No, otherwise, of course, I follow the page, but I see that the posts usually are Polish. I don't in Polish. I don't know if you plan to post when you post something to do it both in Polish and English, or is it just the magazine that is in English, or is it just how does that? Do you have like a logic that it's always in 2 languages, or?
The magazine definitely is in 2 languages. I'm not quite sure about the, let's say, let me just check quickly. Yeah, I would say the page itself is also like a distributed in 2 languages, because you just need to go here and you just need to switch it.
That I see.
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
Click on the. I was referring to the Facebook post that because I follow the page, and sometimes I see, and I know it's also in English on the website, but the posts are maybe.
I don't use Facebook, honestly speaking, but I think that Instagram and Twitter account is only tweeting and Instagramming in English, right, Komek?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, and then I saw the price of the magazine. So if you take the digital edition, it's something like €2 and something, and the printed one, it's 6 or 9. I saw. Is it like 9 with the disc and 6 without the disc, or what is it the difference?
Let me just check. Somewhere here is the choice of the currency. Yeah.
Okay, I have it in euros.
Wait.
Also,
Yeah. There is a moment. This is euro. This is shop printed edition. Something is okay. So the digital comic, you are the guy who knows the prices. I saw it's like the digital version is very cheap. I would say.
Yes.
You got a PDF. You got a PDF. This is in PDF. It's exactly the same quality as we print physically. Yeah.
But
The
a
printed
paper
version
version is not expensive too.
yeah, it is definitely not. Unfortunately, the printing costs are, and everything is getting more expensive now. I also remember the guy who is doing this this device based on your project, it's Raf from Poland. He also complained, like, for instance, those connectors are not available, and they are extremely expensive now. Like, there is a big problem on this supply chain problems currently.
That's right.
I hope this will stabilize at some moment. The same is with the printing costs. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Really, I hope you have an article on Commodore Users Europe.
This edition is closed, but for the next one for sure.
Cool. Cool. Good.
We will write about hackathon.
Perfect. Nice. I'm checking on the Facebook page. I don't see any questions or comments there today. I don't know if amongst the attendees, is there any other question for Maciej and Arek? No. Yes. No. Right.
Nope.
I guess that's a no. Okay. Thanks. I will stop the